So, let's talk about a pretty bold claim I came across from Trader Lance Beggs. He talks about the greatest trading book ever. But, and this is the interesting part, it's not a book you can just go out and buy. So, what is it? Let's dive in. Okay, let's be honest. Who hasn't asked this question? You're scrolling through forums, you're on Amazon, you're looking for that one book that's going to make everything click into place. We're all searching for it. So, what's the real answer? Well, here's where things get interesting. The answer isn't something you're going to find in a bookstore or add to your digital cart. And there it is. That's the whole idea. The most powerful, most game-changing trading book in the world is the one that you, and only you, can create for yourself. It's a custom-built guide, page by page, chart by chart. It's your personal story in the market. So what is this book? Well, it's called a Market Structure Journal. And honestly, it sounds almost too simple, right? It's just a folder, physical or digital, filled with printed charts. But these aren't just any charts. They're marked up with your notes, your questions, your aha moments. And the claim is that this journal will have the single biggest impact on your trading results. Period. So you might be thinking, how can a simple folder of charts be better than all these books written by market wizards? And that's a fair question, but the answer really gets to the core of what it actually means to be a successful trader. You know, any trader who's been around for a while knows that rigid, if this then that systems, they eventually break. Why? Because the market isn't a machine. It's a dynamic, flowing environment. Real success comes from developing a feel for that flow, understanding the context behind the price moves, not just recognizing a pattern on a chart.
Now, this feel isn't some kind of magic voodoo. It's a skill. And like any expert skill, it's built through something called implicit learning. This just means you need a ton of time completely immersed in your craft. For us as traders, that means one thing: hours and hours of focused time just staring at charts and watching price action unfold.
You know, I love this quote from the great trading psychologist, Dr. Brett Steenbarger. He boils it down perfectly. Expertise comes from two things: getting in as many learning trials, or reps, as you can, and making sure your focus is absolutely dialed in during those reps. And that, right there, is the entire point of the journal. It is your personal gym for getting those reps in. You're not just waiting for the market to open anymore. With your journal, you can get in a focused practice session anytime, anywhere, and seriously fast-track your path to developing that expert feel. Okay, so we get the why. It's all about focused practice. So let's get practical. How do you actually build this thing? The good news is it's probably a lot simpler than you're imagining. The process is super straightforward. First, after your trading day is done, print out your charts. Then, start documenting. Write down your thoughts, your insights on what you saw. Ask yourself questions right there on the paper, like, why did price hesitate here? Or what were the clues before that big drop? And the most important part, make it your own. Customize it to how you see the markets. Here's a perfect example of what one of these pages might look like. You can see all these handwritten notes pointing out things like a high vol breakout or where momentum started reducing. See how they noted where the price collapsed? This isn't just a static picture, it's a post-game analysis, a story of that trading session, captured forever so you can learn from it. Now, there are a couple of ways to do this. Method one is what we just saw, writing your notes right on the chart. But the author argues for a second method, which he says is way more powerful. You keep the chart totally clean and you write your notes on a separate sheet of paper. It sounds like a tiny change, but believe me, the difference is huge. So why would you separate them? Because it transforms what you're doing from just simple practice into something called deliberate practice. And if you've ever studied what makes elite performers in sports, music, anything, this concept is an absolute game changer. This isn't just a trading idea, it comes from foundational research by guys like K. Anders Ericsson. The key takeaway is that it's not just about practicing for a long time. The difference between good and great is that deliberate effort, that constant push to get better. Just mindlessly repeating something doesn't cut it. So here's how it works with your journal. A few weeks from now, you pull out an old, clean chart. With no notes to guide you, you're forced to do a completely fresh analysis. Then, and this is the magic part, you pull out your old notes and compare. That's your instant feedback loop, and you'll be amazed. You'll start to see things that you completely missed the first time around, and that's how you know, for a fact, that you're getting better. So let's bring it all home. This whole process, This consistent, deliberate practice, it's all designed to do one thing: turn you into a true market expert. And here is the ultimate payoff. All that work you're putting in after hours reviewing these old charts, it directly translates to your performance in the live market. You're training your brain to see the nuances, to recognize the subtle shifts in momentum almost subconsciously. So when the pressure is on, you can act with confidence instead of hesitation. I think this quote from Marcel Proust just sums it all up beautifully. The whole point of the Market Structure Journal isn't to find some new magical setup. It's about changing the way you see the market itself. It's about developing new eyes that can read the story that price is telling you every single day. So there you have it. The greatest trading book isn't when you can buy, it's when you have to build. The method is simple, but the impact is profound. So the only real question left is, when are you going to write your first page?